It would seem as though.
Hi.
Hi.
And welcome to episode 75
Holy shit.
of It Would Seem As Though.
Holy shit.
Coming to you from beautiful downtown Dubai.
Oh, we can't. Girl, I can't go to Dubai. They have a thing called morality police. I would be.
Hello, police.
Hello, they would murder me immediately. Well, this sinner.
Oh, that. It's funny to me that it would be the morality police that would get you.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, all the things and all the, but it's the morality police.
Yeah, girl, let me tell you what.
Walking around with your little Daisy Dukes in
Yeah.
your ass hanging out. They'd be like, that one.
This slut.
Put her in jail.
Oh,
right
she's a
now.
Westerner. Yeah, immediately gonna be murdered dead.
I think the fact that you're the color of, you know,
They would tell. What are you saying?
paper.
What are you
They-
saying? What are you
They think
saying?
they're gonna go, Whitey doesn't live here.
Well, little do they know that I.
And not that there's not white people there, but they've seen the sun.
A little bit.
You know, so they at least
you know,
have gone outside, maybe gotten a little tiny bit of color.
Well, I'll just be like, but I'm Iranian. You know, I'm part Iranian, so we're the same as Dubaian.
Dubaian.
Dubaian. It's too many
I don't
things.
think that's a thing.
Me either.
But welcome to the podcast where we talk about anything, everything, and nothing.
Mostly nothing.
I'm Vesta.
I'm Annika.
I'm also exhausted.
Same girl.
Girl, I need like a week of recovery.
I
It's
get
been
it.
a week.
Yeah,
It has been a week.
Agreed.
Which we'll get into in a second. So this morning,
Tell me.
my little dog, Lil Fathead.
Lil Fathead.
By the way, that is his name. His name's Lil Fathead. That's his Christian name.
His Christian name.
His government name.
Uh-huh.
His Lil Fathead. He sounds like he has really severe asthma. He's barking like a seal.
Oh.
And not actually barking, but, you know, he's like coughing this awful, weird sound. But I think, I don't know for sure, I'm not a doctor, I don't even play one on television. But last night, we got Mexican food for dinner from Victor Rico's, which I love because it's yummy.
Delightful.
And as my husband was grabbing things out, he dropped one of the little tiny containers of hot sauce. And being a dog, he was like, I need to eat whatever fell to the floor. And so he went over and licked it up. Well, he licked up a whole bunch before it got to his little brain that was not what he wanted. And I think the hot sauce burned his little throat.
Yeah.
And so today he keeps like doing that thing. You know when your throat is like burnt or dry or whatever, you keep trying to like...
Yeah.
Yeah. And so he's been doing that all morning.
Super
and so
cute.
when I went to get my drink, I was like, I'm gonna get him a little pup cup. Maybe the whipped cream will kind of
help it
calm that burnt throat. It probably would have been better last night after he did it. But it was Verde sauce, which isn't even hot.
No, but you let him suffer overnight.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
So abusive.
I wanted to make sure he was good and tortured.
That's ugly.
Because I'm Cruella de Vil.
God don't like ugly, girl.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? Speaking of ugly.
Oh, yay. Who's ugly?
Oh, God. You know, all of this shit going on in the news, in the world, and the thing, and all this stuff. There's... Oh, God. I'm in Kansas.
Ew.
Already, you know it's trouble, right?
Yeah.
Kansas Attorney General sues to stop trans people from changing their birth certificates.
Okay.
And I'm like, what? Do you all really not have anything better to do?
Anything. Because how many trans people are in Kansas? You know what I mean?
3?
7.5, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. But the move was timed to facilitate enforcement of a sweeping statewide anti-trans law in Kansas that is due to go into effect next week.
It's so weird to me that if you supporting or following like anti-people legislation is really weird. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, anti-trans or anti-whatever. It's just so fucking weird to me that like you're basing your whole platform on anti a group of people who have done nothing except lived their lives. It's so bonkers to me. Like, it doesn't...
I mean, if you were anti-KKK, anti-Nazi,
anti-fascist,
I would get all
about
of that.
it.
But I don't get... You know, there's this group of people that literally is bothering no one. other than just the very existence.
Mm-hmm.
You're bothered because they exist. That is all.
Yeah.
So this guy, this douchebag, Kansas Attorney General Chris Kobach.
No, go for him.
Kobach. Has asked the federal judge to allow state officials to bar people from changing their birth certificates. A move aimed at enforcing a sweeping statewide anti-trans law. The fact that they even realize and recognize that it's an anti-trans law.
Yeah, it's gross.
Yeah. So his whole thing is he doesn't want people to be allowed to change their birth certificate ever.
That's crazy.
But if they already have, they don't have to turn it in and,
have
like,
it
change it
back.
Yeah. It's like, are you just trying to get people to leave your state?
Yeah.
I mean, unfortunately, there will be trans people who won't be able to, who won't be able to afford to leave, who are stuck there for whatever reason. And there are kids who are not going to get help, so they're going to take matters into their own hand, which often means ending their life.
Yep.
So, good job, Mr. Kobach.
You're doing
douche.
a good job. I know. Well, it's the same thing we talk about. All these people with their ignorant, anti-humanitarian ideologies are really going to be on the wrong side of history. And like history has to be written for them to be on the wrong side of it. But it is really tragic to me that everyone is, so many people are just okay with that. Like, I'll be the villain.
Yeah. So, this is the other part that I actually I read it, I didn't read it all the way through. Or I read it and it didn't quite click. Because I just told you, it says, if you're a person who's transitioned and got a birth certificate reflecting the different sex, that piece of paper can remain with you. There's nothing in the law that forces someone to surrender that. However, the state's data will reflect the original sex at birth.
Oh my God.
So, according to them, then you're going to be the wrong gender. And I'm sure that will also pop up on things throughout your world. That just fucks with people.
Yeah.
And why? What is the point?
No.
What? Why?
Like,
what?
Do you know how much that could fuck up too? Like, considering if you change your gender on your documentation and then you're claiming a different gender, it could be considered fraudulent for credit cards, for bank statements. All of that can be considered fraudulent because you're not putting the quote-unquote accurate information.
Yeah.
People are fucking stupid.
So this law is set to go into effect July 1. It bans transgender people from using restrooms, locker rooms, domestic violence shelters, rape crisis centers that are associated with the gender identities. And they're saying, here's what they're saying, is to protect the people, people who already use these facilities and whatnot. But it also, they're like, well, we need to have accurate data as to what who's living in this state. Well, you won't.
Yeah, it'll be wildly inaccurate.
Because you're going to have all these women who you've got listed as men and vice versa.
Yep.
And won't you be surprised when this big, burly, hairy man walks into a woman's room? Huh.
But that's never the issue. Trans men are never the issue. No. That is not the problem people are like looking at. You know what I mean?
Also, women as a rule don't care.
Oh, yeah. Well, and the weirdest part to me is there's some high statistic. It's like 75 to 80% of people in the U.S. are supportive and accepting and understanding of queer people. So these laws aren't reflecting the constituents. They're not reflecting the American ideal about what it means to be gender or sexually diverse. Like, it is weird to me that these politicians are just holding on to that so tightly, but that doesn't, again, reflect what people believe. And and let me tell you something. Politicians are supposed to work for you, work for us, right? Like, we're the people. That's their fucking job. And so when they're creating legislation or backing legislation or having these ignorant ideas and belief systems, like, it's our job to hold them accountable. That's why the protests happen. That's why people show up and fight back, because politically, like, people who are voted in are public servants. That is the whole point. They're supposed to serve the public, not...
But they don't. They serve corporations.
I know.
They serve whoever is sponsoring them. And I've seen this little thing many, many times by saying how they should wear the same kind of suits that, like, NASCAR drivers wear.
Oh.
It shows all the people who sponsor them.
Yep. True.
It's like, it feels like it would be at least much more honest.
Yeah, right?
It's like, well, obviously you're going to do all the things this company and this company on your lapel, whatever, have paid you to do.
I know.
Because they bought you.
I know.
So
it's also it's such a fraud. Do you know what I mean? Everything is so fake. Like, none of these politicians. Do you think they genuinely care, or this is their talking point? Do you know what I mean? Like,
I really think it's like we've said before. I really think that it really is just to distract.
Oh, 100%.
Because it's like we're doing some pretty fucked up stuff, but. Look over here at these horrible people. Yeah. Remember how you still hate the queers? Remember that?
Well, and
you do know that they're trying to, mess with your children. It's about the children. We're saving the children.
Okay.
It's never about that.
I have a couple things to say. I've heard the theory that because the right wing, all tried to fight gay marriage, and then it was federally legalized by Obama, and so they lost that. They lost hardcore, right? The right wing, the evangelicals, lost that talking point, that base. And so they threw everything they could at the wall, and what stuck were, like, vilifying trans people, right?
Right.
So within the queer world. I don't remember what else I was going to say. But yeah, so I think that they just were like, well, what else do we have? What do we have in our arsenal? Oh, this super fucking marginalized community of people who, there's 7 of them in, Arkansas or Kansas, wherever the fuck this was. And I don't know, the population of trans and gender nonconforming people is so minute that it feels like you're wasting government time.
Yeah.
Dollars.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then the people who are not for shit like that, like not banning trans care or whatever, are like, this is what we're talking about. Like, we focus so much on, like, book bannings and focus so much on trans healthcare and trans acceptance that, like, you're not dealing with anything that's real that's happening in the world. You know what I mean? Right. You're just, like, trying to shelter people. You act like this is some fucking Christian nation, but that just proves to me that you learned nothing in history. Right. But, I digress.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
okay.
girl.
So, number 2.
Oh, God. Okay.
Well, it is Pride Month.
Are you trying to bring me down today?
No, this is an up.
Oh, okay, good.
At least I think so. I mean, I think it'll be interesting. Starting tomorrow on HBO Max, or whatever it's called these days.
Max. It's just called Max.
Max.
Yeah.
Is a new documentary about Rock Hudson.
Okay, cute.
It's called All That Heaven Allowed. And it examines his life, as this heartthrob actor who
was secretly a queer.
It was so funny to me that people say, it was secret that he was gay. It was not a secret. Mm-hmm. Everyone knew. No one talked about it.
Right.
But everyone knew about it.
That was the time.
All of his friends knew. Mm-hmm. He was very popular in the queer sect. I mean, he had lots of big parties with lots of boys because he liked the boys.
Yeah, girl.
He liked to have parties with lots of, little naked, hot, muscly men in his pool and whatever. And cool for you.
Do your thing, bitch.
Do your thing. But it was supposedly a secret, but it was a very poorly kept secret.
Yeah, a secret that everyone knew.
In 1985, 3 months before his death, his publicist announced that he had AIDS. And, of course, that sent the whole world into big shockwaves. Mm-hmm. Mostly because he had just done the series Dynasty and kissed Linda Evans.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my God, he kissed her, so she now was going to have AIDS.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Well, that's not how that works. Mm-hmm. But in 1985,
no one knew.
Nobody was really sure how it worked.
Right.
Because so far the government had done nothing, and weren't planning on doing, because Reagan was president, and Reagan was all
trash.
Gay people. I don't know about no gay. Do they exist? What? Eyes closed, turned away. Well, when his good friend Rock Hudson came out as gay and as having AIDS.
Yeah.
As I've said this many times, then all of a sudden he was like, oh, I guess we need to do something.
I guess.
What startles me a little bit is the fact that Ronald Reagan came up in the studio business.
Yeah.
I mean, he was an actor. Mm-hmm. A terrible actor. Mm-hmm. But he was an actor, and he was in the studio system.
Yeah.
So he knew very well how many gay people were in Hollywood.
Right. That's bonkers to me that
he knew that he must know, as friends and as associates, many gay people. Mm-hmm. And yet he was turning a blind eye to this thing that was killing, the queer community by leaps and bounds. And he was like, well, I don't know. Doesn't affect me.
No.
And then suddenly it did. You know?
Yeah.
So I'm interested to watch this. I'm interested to find out kind of more about his life. I know a little bit about his life.
Sure.
I know that he was this little country bumpkin kid who came to the big city and
was cute.
And was cute.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't a great actor.
Right.
I mean, I've seen his movies. He was fine.
Yeah.
But he was not like
yeah.
you know, you don't look at Rock Hudson for his acting.
No, that's not.
You're looking because he was real pretty.
That's it. That's it. That's okay.
Yeah.
He had something going for him.
One of the things that I love is so his two good Judys, Elizabeth Taylor,
right,
and Doris Day,
okay,
both stood beside him when he came out as being gay and as being sick and all this stuff, and they were like, well, this is our guy. Mm-hmm. You know, this is our boy. We're gonna, of course, be with him.
Of course.
And Elizabeth Taylor at that time had already started the Elizabeth Taylor AIDS Foundation, which shocked people.
Yeah,
because they were like, I'm sorry, this rich, very famous lady, straight lady, I'm famously straight because she had 8 husbands, is doing this thing to benefit these queers, the lepers over here.
Yeah.
And so it was shocking to a lot of people.
Yeah,
and it caused her some personal, like, she probably lost some.
Sure.
But she didn't care. Because she was already richer than God. What'd she care?
Also, obviously, she was just a good person. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. But the fact that she and a few other celebrities immediately from the jump were like, no, we have to do something.
Yeah.
You know, like her, Bette Midler, people like that.
Yeah.
Elton John.
Who are already, like, queer icons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or queer, like Elton John.
Queer icons. Or both.
Yeah. So that starts tomorrow on, or by the time this airs, it starts today.
Yeah. On Max, which is, it's Hubu.
Hubu Max.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I thought that was interesting. Another thing that I think is good news, New York governor signs safe haven law for transgender youth.
Snaps.
Yeah, the New York is now among dozen states that have laws protecting access to transition-related medical care for minors.
Thank God.
Yeah, because, you know, obviously as they're passing these stupid laws, someone's got to protect the babies. Which, ironically enough, is what these idiots claim that they're doing, but all they're doing is harming people.
Protect the children, but you're not. You're literally going to make the children want to, end their own life.
So, New York Governor Kathy Hochul,
that's
how you say her name, signed a bill Sunday to protect access to transition-related medical care for transgender minors as an increasing number of states considered and pass restrictions. So, this new measure will it bars state courts from enforcing the laws of other states that might authorize a child to be taken away.
Love it.
If parents provide... Yes. And so they've created a safe haven space for these families and these kids.
I love God. That. Yeah, girl. I know there's few, liberal bastions of, transness. And it's like the West Coast and some Northeast states. You know what I mean? Maybe like Illinois.
Well, and I've heard people say really ignorant statements like, well, back when I was a kid, there were no trans people. Well, there were.
There absolutely
were.
There
wasn't trans care.
Mm-mm. And there wasn't the language.
There wasn't awareness.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't any safety.
No.
The fact that the few people who did publicly come out and became celebrities was because they were so few and far between, and it was a novelty act.
Yeah.
Like Christine Jorgensen.
Who came out, she was a GI, right?
Yes.
And then they said GI to bombshell. Like,
yeah.
And now that would never happen. You know what I mean?
No. No. But, I mean, she went abroad to have her surgery, comes back, this beautiful woman, and then has a nightclub act.
Right.
And I'm guessing she was a lovely human being. But who cares?
Right.
It was like, but it was one person, and until she died... if ever she was in the news, it was always the same story. Mm-hmm. Famous, transgender GI, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Wow. Never, it wouldn't have mattered, I don't think, had she gone on to create the most important... Yeah, to cure cancer, they would have still led with...
This trans woman.
Former GI.
Yeah.
Now a lady.
This man who dresses like a woman. Yeah, exactly.
It's like Bette Midler always says... that no matter what she does in the world, her obituary will lead with, woman who started her career at the bathhouse.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. It's like, it wouldn't matter what she did. I mean, the fact is, everyone knows her as Bette Midler, as diva, icon, whatever. But she's also done amazing things for the city of New York. Okay. But she has this big project where they clean up the parks.
Okay.
And she's out there doing it. She's not just like putting her name on it. This is the Bette Midler project.
But she's great.
Yeah, she is great.
She's amazing.
And so she's out there actually getting dirty, cleaning up the parks, doing the things. So, but again, no matter what she does.
No. She started in a bathhouse.
But back to my point, before I started rambling, I did have a point, was that when people say this didn't exist, well, there was no safe way for most people to come out.
Sure.
There wasn't even an example for people to go, oh, that's what I'm feeling. Right. That's what is, quote unquote, wrong with me.
Sure.
Is I'm in the wrong body. You know, because you may feel that but not be able to identify it because you have no examples out there in the world to go, okay.
Right.
Okay, that explains why I feel this way.
Yeah.
So now, of course, we have plenty of examples.
Right.
And we have lots of kids that parents are going, oh, you want to be a girl or you feel like a girl? Okay.
Yeah.
And instead of shooting them down, well, you don't know what you feel because you're a kid.
Yeah.
Going, well, honey, if that's how you feel.
Well, and here's what I find interesting is that the younger generation is being raised by my generation. It's being raised by millennials, right? And we're a bitter bunch of people, but we're like the beginning of acceptance because generations younger than me are all about it. Are like, oh, what are your? They'll ask you like, hi, my name's like Tiffany. What are your pronouns? Right? They just want to know things like that. But like hand in hand, that goes with Gen Z? Is that the one, the newest generation?
I think.
Whatever. The youngest generation are like the least religious out of all generations, like prior. Yeah. Like hugely. And so I think that also plays a role in it. Like millennials aren't raising their children to be religious. I think that's the thing is like this generation that is being raised are being raised to be people who they are, right? Whether that is God-fearing or straight or trans or, you know what I mean? Like athletic or not. Like they're allowed to be themselves granted, not everyone, but I think more and more that's what it's becoming.
The majority.
Yeah, yes. For sure. Yeah.
Well, I know, and I was watching a video the other day, which was the sweetest video. It started out the sweetest video, and then it was being stitched by somebody going, look at this horrible family, and it was, they had made this cute little short, whatever, and it was the kid who looked like a little boy going up to his room and climbing into the closet and then coming out of the closet all dressed up like a little girl. Yeah. And the whole family celebrating and partying and doing whatever.
Love it.
And then, of course, some asshat stitching is like, this family is sick. They're sick because they're supporting their child?
I know, weird.
Because you're supposed to go, you go take that off or I'm going to beat you?
Yes.
How is that supportive? Well, what you're doing is creating a child who is so suppressed that A, they're going to need therapy, and B, they're probably going to do harm to themselves.
And here's the thing.
And they're going to hate you.
They're going to fucking hate you. And
rightly so.
Yeah. I don't think people realize that. Like, well, I'm protecting them. But you're not. They're going to grow up and they're just going to fucking disdain you. The moment they can leave your house, they'll never see you again. Yeah. And then your sweet child that you did so much to quote unquote protect, you won't have them anymore. So go fuck yourself. And I hope, and I know this is ugly, but I don't care. I hope that people who support this shit, people who think that queerness and queer children are a bad thing and supporting queer people is a bad thing, I hope they die alone. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I hope that they are sad and miserable for the rest of their fucking lives because this is the damage you chose to do. Like, you have fucking free will, bitch.
This is the hill you've chose to die on.
Yeah, you could do fucking anything.
You can die on that hill with all of your other compatriots who are running the world.
And nobody that you actually care about because they'll all have left you. Right. And I hope that for you. I mean, I used to say the same. I mean, I feel the same way about Border Patrol agents. Yeah. I hope you die alone and sad. You know? Yeah. Because go fuck yourself.
If you're a Border Patrol agent and you were just doing what you were supposed to do, which was just going, I need to see your papers. Yeah. But the fact that you're putting babies in cages, no, the first time you put a baby in a cage, you were morally corrupt.
Yep, die a painful death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry. And especially if you separated a baby from their family.
Oh, yeah. Do you know the irreparable damage you're doing?
Yeah.
And
so then irreparable damage should come to you.
Agreed, 100%.
I mean, really. Mm-hmm. And that may sound cold, and it may sound mean, and it may sound... I don't give a shit.
Bitch.
If you have ruined someone else's life, because some of those babies never made it back to their families.
No.
But some Republicans made good money off it because... What's her name? God, I blanked. The one that they made the head of the schools for a while?
Oh, Betsy DeVos.
She is...
Trash human.
Has her fingers in all kinds of pots because she has so much money. And one of them was an adoption agency where they were adopting out these children that they couldn't reconcile with their families.
Great. Love that.
So, yeah.
That makes me think there's a law. I don't know how long. It's since the 70s, 80s maybe, but it's called ICWA. It's the Indigenous Child Welfare Act. There is talk about trying to repeal that. Because the whole point of it was if Indigenous parents could not raise their children... those children were adopted or fostered by other members of the tribe.
Yes.
So the child was staying in the tribe, was maintaining their culture. You know what I mean? They weren't being shipped off to a white family or any other family that didn't understand indigeneity and their culture.
Yes.
But now, whiteys are trying to repeal that. So then indigenous children can go anywhere. And
they can sell them.
And this is the thing, that's assimilation. That is the slow genocide of indigenous people again, because you're ripping the culture away from their youth.
Yeah. If they do that, that will be the worst thing.
And I want you to know that if you thought, people went crazy for BLM, indigenous people are going to burn the fucking country to the ground.
Well.
And I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I'm about it. I'll be Molotov cocktail with you, bitch, because they deserve every minute of it.
When we adopted our 2 children, birth mom, who is developmentally disabled, someone told her different ways to slow up the process. One of them was by claiming to be indigenous. Now, my children are the color of paste.
Girl, your children are mayo white paper, bitch. Like,
they're blonde-haired, blue-eyed, white-skinned little babies. I'm like, I suppose it's possible that 27 generations back, you know. But what I love... is so when we got Grace's folder of all of the paperwork. Yeah. Because when you adopt them, they give you all their records.
Crazy, okay.
And it's a shit ton of records.
Yeah.
Now, on a little side note, I will say really quickly, all of the personal stuff of other people who are not your child is supposed to be redacted, other than, like, their names.
Sure.
It was not. So I have social security numbers,
girl.
phone numbers, addresses, and shit, none of which I should have.
Oh my God, I love
But
that.
anyway... I have letters from every single tribe on the West Coast saying, nope, not ours.
That is so funny to me. Oh my God.
Because as I read through them, and they're like, we don't know who these people are.
Who these white people?
Who this? Who's this white lady? We don't know these people.
I am dead.
And because I'm flipping through letter after letter after, I was saying, not us.
Not it.
Not it. But it did hold things up, because if there was even a shred of truth to that, then the tribe would get to say, no,
you can't
have them.
Yeah.
So, which I do love that. I hate that somebody told her this.
Yeah.
And so, whatever.
You're weaponizing indigenous, identity, and you're not even indigenous.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah. And so here's the...
Is there more?
Good news, but it's my last little article that I'm going to read, is... The person who shot up Club Q was sentenced to life in prison.
Okay.
Which I don't think's enough.
Right.
Because they killed 5 people and injured 17 others. And so I don't think life in prison really is a fair punishment.
No.
I think, torture.
Tar and feathered, maybe?
Oh, yeah.
Drawn and quartered.
The shooter pleaded guilty to killing 5 people and injuring 17 others at the Colorado Springs nightclub.
Oh, I love.
Anderson Lee Aldrich, 23, who identifies as non-binary and uses Mix Aldrich, walked into the club on November 19th and opened fire. Now, still, we don't know why. But they were sentenced the other day, and it said it was the worst mass killing in Colorado history. So...
Yeah, girl, I can't. And this is like the talking point Republicans use, being like, see? Queer. There's a queer. A queer did it.
Well, and that's the other thing, is when this happened, they were like, see? It's the queers are... I mean, it's the same argument they use for this black-on-black violence. Well, what about that? Black people are killing black people, so it's not just us, it's not just the cops. That's not the point.
No.
You've missed the point entirely.
Yeah.
Which is not surprising.
Yeah.
You know.
Shocking. Yeah. Anyway, outside of that shitty fucking news, I've had 9 days off of work.
And when do you go back Friday?
I go back Friday, which is like, boo, you whore. I'm really over it. I know we've talked about this. We talked about insecurity last week and burnout a little bit, but I'm just like so overworking that I just can't anymore. But I was talking at your show on Sunday. I was talking to Uncle James, and he was like, well, girl, you've been burning the candle at both ends for a number of years now. And I said, yeah, you're right. I'm so close. And it keeps getting,
And it isn't even one of those fat Yankee candles. It's a little candle that's dwindling down to nothing.
It's just made of, like, earwax. You know what I mean? And tears. I'm
going to say don't market that because no one's buying that.
Someone will. Don't fight me.
What is your candle? Earwax and tears.
And they'd be all hubba hubba.
Gross.
I know. But it is true. And So once I start fall semester, I can quit officially, right? And that's August 17th. So it's not very far. But girl, I'm so tipped up.
Not very far.
No. And I keep pushing it. I'm like, well, I could just pay for my last 2 classes. Like, I could just... but this 9-day break has been great. Last week, we had a sleepover with the children, Gavin and I did. And then we went to Bullwinkle's.
Yeah.
We spent all day at Bullwinkle's. It was a good time. And
I meant to ask you, was Bullwinkle's better than the Rose Festival? Was it more like realistic pricing, or was it still ridiculous?
So it was, I would say, better than Rose Festival, but not better than like Dave & Buster's.
Okay.
So
really, I think the tea is Wednesday at Dave & Buster's.
Yes, ma'am.
You get double tickets and double,
and it's half off.
Yeah,
all the things are half off.
Everything's half off.
And because here's the tea: you gave me 2 gift cards that they had $50 on it. I go up. And Parker wanted to get the bracelet where you can unlimited rides, mini golf.
For 3 hours.
Yeah, and then you get so many tokens to play games. Grace did not want to ride rides. Grace wanted to play games all day. So I said, fine. So we'll use this $50, and it was $43 for 3 hours. Fine, right? Okay. But because the gift cards were older, they had started to lose value.
What?
I know, girl. And I said, Nor, there should be $50 on each of this. A total of $100, right? And the supervisor came over, and she's like, yeah, they do this. They start to, like lose value over time.
Depreciate.
Exactly. That's the word. And I said, okay. And she's like, no, we'll fix it. It's just a dumb thing in our system. And I said, okay.
It is a dumb thing in your system because I expect $100.
Exactly. So we did it. Gavin bought a game of mini golf for all of us. That was fun. We played it. But bitch, it was 100 degrees. And so I got a little sunburn. I made them all of them put on sunscreen because I said, white children, listen to me. It was fun, but also all the games were like, it's not like 2 tokens. It's like 12 tokens to play this game. You know what I mean? Let me tell you, little Grace, that little baby, we were inside. Gavin was outside with Parker, watching him go-kart, watching him do like zip line stuff. And Grace and I were inside because it's air conditioning and cool.
Yeah.
And
she, my girl.
Right? And she wanted to do claw machines, and no one ever really wins.
No.
That little bitch did like 2 claw machines back to back and one immediately. First try, both machines. And I said, what? And here's her game plan. She pushes a little joystick and immediately hits the down button. Like, there's no thought process behind it. She's just like, yep. And she won, girl. She won a ball and she won a stuffed animal. And I said, what? I rarely see anybody win this.
Right.
And then Parker spent like an hour trying to win one thing. And I said, ooh, have your sister help you.
Right, because she's got a plan.
She's talented.
Yeah. That's crazy.
It was fun, though. It was a lot of fun. We went to breakfast beforehand. Black Bear Diner in Wilsonville. I don't recommend. The service was shit. It just wasn't as good. And Grace, all the way there, I'm kind of hungry. Bitch, I know. We're going to breakfast. I know. We get there, she eats half of it, and then she's like, I don't want any more. And I said, okay, fine. We get to Bullwinkle's, she's like, I'm kind of hungry. And I said, you should have finished your breakfast, huh? Like, girl, you think I'm going to buy you snacks now? Nor. I did buy them in icy later, but like,
sure.
Girl, I'm not going to feed you more food. You should have just ate your breakfast that you wanted.
Right.
But guess not. But yeah, it's been good. It's been nice because having the time off and then getting to spend time with them and go on little adventures, it's been fun. But girl, they're tiring. But your children?
That's interesting.
Exhausting.
Because I didn't know my children could be exhausting.
Huh? Weird.
I did not know because I haven't been raising them for
I know
all these years.
Well, and it's funny to me. Great. Every time she comes to my house, she'll go, I'm kind of thirsty. And I'm like, baby girl, you could just ask me for something to drink opposed to being like, I'm kind of thirsty. Like, just be straightforward about it.
Passive aggressive.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And so now she started coming over and she's like, may I please have some Gatorade? Or may I please have some water? And I'm like, there we go. Baby steps.
Baby steps.
Right into being a grown up. Yeah.
She'll get it.
I know.
She'll figure it out.
Of course she will. It's fine.
Yeah.
She's ridiculous.
So I got, because they were saying that y'all were going to take him to the zoo. Mm-hmm. And so I bought zoo shit is expensive.
Yes, bitch.
So the Oregon Zoo is now, for my family, $24 per person just to go into the zoo. Now, you also now have to pay for parking, even though they have a parking lot that's always been there.
Yeah.
You now have to pay to park in it, which is like, any way they can to get money, I guess. Yeah. And I imagine the zoo cost $1 jillion to run. I get that.
Sure.
And then I buy it, and they're like, and do you want to also donate some money, too? I just did. Thanks.
Yeah.
To buy a membership. And you can specialize it. So I got 2 adults, 2 children, 2 guests.
Okay.
Well, what I didn't think about was the fact that one of the named adults has to be there to get you into the zoo. Because you could... I don't know why. I think it's dumb.
Yeah.
Because you have to get the tickets online before you go. You have to reserve them.
It's like Disneyland all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's crazy. So, but we got it. $300.
Yeah. Well, we can just go. You can walk through the gates and then go back home.
That's what I told Tia. I'll take him to the zoo. Mm-hmm. I will get the tickets, get him inside, and be like, bye.
Yeah.
I'm going home, or I'm going to the movies, or
go do something else.
Sleep in the parking lot.
Yeah,
whatever.
You don't need to walk around the zoo with us.
I'll probably go to the forestry center because I find trees so interesting. Or not.
I know, because I was looking on the way home from Bullwinkle's. I was looking it up, saying, "Hey, babes, we can go to the zoo soon." And then I was all, "What? Like,
yeah,
that's so much money.
It's ridiculous."
Yeah, I was blown away.
I mean, really, for a family of 4. If you want to go to the zoo once in a whole year, maybe it would be better to do that. But it's like, no, get a membership. And you've gone 3 times. You've paid it off.
Yeah.
I mean, you've done it. It's crazy.
I know.
Ugh.
I know.
I got an email today saying, member appreciation night at the zoo is Saturday, June 24th. And I was like, that was
2 days ago. 3 days ago.
3 days ago.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thanks.
Does it come with time travel?
Yeah, bitch. I'm going back in time.
I don't want to do that because then it'll be before my show.
Oh.
I don't want to go back before my show.
Can we just go back to before your show and then come back to now?
Yeah, as long as I don't have to do my show again.
I know, girl.
I had such a great time.
Oh, it was so
but
fun.
I thought I was dying the entire time.
I know. Oh, I'm aware.
So I know that we talked about it on here that I had a show coming up. Mm-hmm. I had a show this last Sunday, a 1-woman sold out show.
Mm-hmm.
No, so it's probably, it was 75 people. Well, actually, in the end, it was more than that because a few people, they squeezed in and, whatever. So I think there were 78 or 79 tickets sold.
Okay.
Because a few people, and one person, I think got in, was given a ticket. Whatever, who cares?
Yeah.
But I have been a wreck leading up to this goddamn show because I have knee problems. I have my whole life, but my knees now have gotten to the point where they're like, fuck you.
Mm-hmm. We don't
Listen,
work.
you fat fuck. Get off me. Get off me.
Wow.
Stay off me.
Your knees are fat shaming you?
Yes, my knees fat shame me all the time. They're mean.
Disrespectful, bitch.
I know. But, I mean, I get it. Knees aren't meant to carry this much weight.
Sure.
I get that.
What else?
And so now they've started rebelling against me.
Mm-hmm.
But to be fair, they've rebelled against me my whole life. But my concern really was because I could barely walk.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, how the fuck am I going to get up on this stage and do an hour and a half show where I have to perform and talk? Now, if it was just the talking, I'd have been fine because my voice I was in good voice.
Yeah, shocking.
But I was in bad knee.
Yeah,
so
good voice, bad knee.
I got there. And my knee, so that day, I'll just back up a little bit. That day, I did my normal Sunday stuff, but I do laundry and stuff in the morning. But by noon, I was like, now, I'm going to take the next 3 hours and elevate my legs, put ice and heat and stuff, and do all that, and put drugs on my knees, because I got some...
Like lidocaine?
My husband made me some stuff, some rub stuff, that has turmeric and other things in it, and that's for anti-inflammatory properties.
Yeah.
And then I got these like little heat patches. So I did all of the things. I literally had medicine and heat patches and ice and all the things of it because I'm like, I've got to do everything I can do. And I've been doing this for like weeks leading up to it. Well, so as I'm going there, I'm like, well, I can walk okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel great, but it's not terrible. I'm not crying.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And I get there before people are being let in, although there's already a line of people out the door. And I'm like, I don't want anybody to see me because I'm not going to change for the opening number. So who cares?
Yeah.
So I get there, get kind of set up what I need, get my little table, blah, blah, blah. And then as soon as they open the door, I'm like, oh, I have to go, hang out backstage. Mm-hmm. And because I didn't want to go up and down the stairs at all, because that's what started the mess. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I'm just going to sit for an hour by myself.
Behind a curtain.
With nothing to do.
Oh my God.
And I didn't have my glasses because I left them on stage.
Yup.
So I couldn't even do things on my phone because I couldn't see. Girl. I mean, I can see fine, but up close I cannot because I'm 61. I wear bifocals. Whatevs. The top half of my bifocal really is almost clear glass. The bottom half is like, bitch, you blind.
Yeah.
So, whatever. So I'm sitting back there like, what can I do back here? Oh, wait. And then I realized I had to go to the bathroom. There's a bathroom behind the stage. But it takes some trickery to get to it because it's in a little corner behind. I don't know why anybody needs that many ladders. I have to walk through 757 ladders to get to the.
Yeah.
I'm like, do you need all those?
Is this
ladders?
Chutes and Ladders? Have I just
fallen into the
game?
Yes, the real life version of Chutes. So I didn't find Chutes, just a lot of ladders.
Yeah.
But anyway, and then T came back and talked to me a little bit, and at that point he was talking me off the ledge because I'm like, but this and what if I and how all the things because I'm going to get out there and I won't be able to do anything and I'm going to probably fall on my face and all the nonsense.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, first of all,
calm the fuck down.
Because he is a smart man, he has never told me to calm down.
Thank God. It's like a cat in a bathtub, bitch.
He's not stupid.
No.
And so, that's a lesson I told my son years ago. No matter what, never tell a woman, calm down. Because then she'll probably whoop your ass and you'll have it coming.
Have you ever tried baptizing a cat? It's going to be the same fucking thing.
Yep. Don't do it. Don't do it. So he's, talking to me. He goes, would it help if you knew who was in the audience? And I was like, well, I know a lot of who's in the audience. He goes, well, but I'll tell you some people that you maybe don't know are in the audience. And so he's telling me, my cousin, who I've met twice, is in the audience. And some folks that I know but have never seen me perform. Yeah. And I was like, oh, cool, that's cool. And basically just trying to get me to focus. Yeah. Come back down to...
It's okay. Si se puede. Yeah.
to level. Yeah. And so that was fine. And then, of course... It's 5 minutes to 7. No, I went to the bathroom at 6. It's 5 minutes to 7, and I'm all, really? I gotta pee again?
Girl, you old. Your
I know I'm old in my blood, and I also drank a lot of liquid that day to also help with the process of, flushing out my system. Yeah. Flushing your system on a day you have to,
be on stage?
And wear tights and girdles and things. It's maybe not the best plan.
No.
But I'm like, do I risk it? Oh, Poison's going to introduce me. She'll talk for a while. Uh-huh. Yeah, I'll go. So I went to the bathroom again. And I'm always like, well, just a funny little thing. I sat down to go to the bathroom, and the whole toilet moves. And I'm like, oh, dear.
Great. This is how the show starts.
But everything is just a little rickety-rackety. So whatever.
At ourselves.
I love that. But one of the things my husband said to me is as soon as the music starts, that adrenaline will kick in. You'll go out there. You'll be fine. You'll have a great time.
You'll feel nothing.
Oddly enough, that was true. Oh, so the music started, and it was as if my knee was perfect.
I was like, oh, bitch, we're back in the game.
Yeah, let's go do this thing. And so I did. I had a great show. I talked a lot.
You did. You sure fucking did.
But... It was not my fault. I talked a lot. People were laughing.
I know. So you couldn't stop. Right. I get it. I totally get it.
I mean, really, what I thought would happen, honestly, and I'm going to jump back in a second to another point. But what I thought would happen was I would tell my little stories.
Yeah.
And people would be appreciative, but I didn't think they'd laugh as much as they did.
Have you ever met yourself?
I think I'm funny.
Girl, most people think you're funny.
But I was like telling my stories and stuff, and then, people were really laughing, and I was like, oh, okay. And so then I just kept going.
And then it was like just a stand-up comedy show.
Right. And it wasn't until I still had, I think, a third of the show to go, and I was supposed to be done by 8:30. And I was like, and I asked, I was like, what time is it? 8:15.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Well, and let me tell you, because for me, this whole thing was like a family reunion, because I knew most of the people in the audience, and we were schmoozing, because I was there an hour early. I was there when doors opened, and I was schmoozing, I was introducing Gavin to people. People were coming up to Grandma, but she doesn't know who the fuck anybody is, so I had to be like she's the president. I have to remind her who this person is, that she's this dignitary that she's talking to. And some people I said, I don't know, that's some white lady, I don't know who the fuck she is. But it was good times.
Who that? Some white lady.
Who it is, yeah. But I don't remember what I was going to say. But it was just like everyone that we know and love was there. And so it was good times. So of course they were laughing at your stories. Like, have you met any of these people before?
Right.
They all know you a little bit.
Yeah. Well, and so my sister Linda and her wife Shauna were there. Neither of them have ever seen me perform before.
There's a lot of people
like,
I've
how's
never
that
seen.
possible?
Yeah.
I've been around for a long time, and y'all are old like me. So, well, Shauna's not. Shauna's the same age as my husband.
Oh.
So, obviously, my sister Linda and I are both cougars.
Obviously, you just stole them right from the fucking cradle.
Right from their cradle. Well,
predatory.
You do what you gotta do.
Yeah, no, I get it.
One of the things that cracked me up is, so my cousin Amy was wearing a shirt that said, whore.
Yes, I saw it. I died.
And I was all, I identify as, a reformed whore.
Yeah.
But I never just wore it, like, straight out on my chest.
No.
So, it was, I could have. Nobody would have looked at it and gone, what?
I love it. She has 3 grown children. And she's wearing a shirt that says whore. I'm about it.
Did you see her shoes?
Yeah, they were like heeled tennies.
Platform.
Yeah, pink.
Platform, little rainbowy, silvery, glittery.
So cute. I know.
Yeah.
Everyone was in like their best queer gear, girl. Yes. I loved it.
Well, she does have queer children too.
Like all of them, except maybe one.
Yeah. 2 out of 3.
Yeah. Ooh, for sure, 2 out of 3.
Oh my god, and I met her middle child, Kendra's girlfriend. MJ.
Darling.
Well, it was funny because I met her and I said, oh my gosh, I hope you appreciate what a wonderful person you have. And she said, oh yeah, I do. And I said, because I'm not sure the last girlfriend did. Not that I have anything against the last girlfriend. And she goes, well, I do.
Yeah.
Oh, I said, we're going to be good Judies. Yeah. I said, we're going to be the ones sitting in the corner at the family thing, talking shit. And she goes, well, I am Filipino. That is our culture.
That's what you do. Yeah.
I was like, oh, I love that.
Yep. 4th of July, girl. I know.
We're going to get to know that girl and talk some
I
mad
can't
shit.
wait. I know. I kept saying 4th of July to all of them. And they're like, yeah. And then Justin, the father, was like, well, maybe we have to go here and do that. And I said, so 4th of July? Like, but answer the question.
Well, and what's funny is when they came up at the end to talk to me, I said, so am I seeing you on 4th of July?
Yep.
And Amy's like, yeah, of course. And Justin's like, well, wait, yeah, yes.
We have Canada and Walla Walla. And I said, Walla Walla. And he's like, it's my high school reunion. And I said, that's not an excuse to go to Walla Walla.
Okay. And this is where, had I heard that, I would have played the total guilt card and said, listen, you missed my wedding because you went to a fucking reunion. So I came to your wedding.
Oh, yeah. Rude.
I was dying. I drove 72 hours.
To Walla Walla.
I mean, it's like, what, 5 hours?
I think so.
It's a lot of hours.
I can't tell you if I've actually ever been in Walla Walla. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
no reason to go.
No, why would I want to?
No, unless you were going to college there, Whitman College, I understand, is a good college.
Oh, okay.
But it's C white people.
Woof.
So why would you go?
Yeah, hate it. Hate every minute of it.
And it's the country, and no thanks.
And I did
There are some cool things. Like, there's one cemetery that I know for sure that we went to when I first went there, which started probably my love of cemeteries, that has all these amazing, like, monuments instead of just headstones.
Yeah.
Crypts and monuments.
I love that.
And I love that.
Hell yeah.
I think that kind of art is so super cool. But it was funny because Justin, so the husband of my cousin, is wearing a shirt that says "Free Dad Hugs," and some folks in the room apparently thought that meant daddy hugs, and it was like, no.
That folk you're talking about, that one folk you're talking about, also came up to my boyfriend and wanted to chit-chat with him and show him pictures on the wall and, like, flirt with my man. And Gavin's all, I'm uncomfortable. What's funny to me, though, is I was talking, and they're on the other side of the table, and I look over, and I just cock my head, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And Papa, your husband, says, don't worry, I'm keeping my eye on it. And I said, yes, you are. But Gavin's like, I need to get to my woman. Please leave me alone.
Things are happening. I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Well, but I get it. I mean, he's a ginger giant.
And he's handsome.
I know.
And
he's kind.
I know. It's stupid.
Yeah, I know he's all the terrible things.
Right. I know.
Yeah.
Well, and you know what? That was a lot because... your good friend / client, Elizabeth Lombardi, that was her first drag show.
Yes.
That was Gavin's first drag show. It wasn't mine. But it was a lot of people's, like, first time ever seeing you or going to a drag show.
Yeah.
Which I think...
Well, and so clearly now I've spoiled them for any other drag show.
I know.
Which was funny because MJ, the girl we were just talking about, she was like, this is my first drag show. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, ruined. You're ruined now.
Because now you're going to go see other drag shows and go, oh, these girls...
Trash.
Trash. Their lips are moving, but not in accordance to their music.
No.
But instead they're doing 16 clam slams to, to try and make up for it.
Death drop.
So here's the thing. I have been performing for 40 years.
Jesus Christ.
I never, in any situation, ever did a death drop, a backflip, a
split,
flip-flop, a split, or as my friend Poison calls them, a clam slam. You can figure out why on your own. But I did this crazy thing where you had to actually learn the words.
Oh my god, weird.
And then
you did it back
the words.
Well, you did it back in the day when they didn't have lyrics posted. You were like listening to your vinyl over and over and over and over to memorize
and
words.
I'm going to tell you, there were times when I'm like, I can't quite figure out this lyric, so I'm going to say that it's this because it matches the lip movement enough. But then later, if I'd find it with something else, I was like, oh.
Different.
Interesting.
That's different.
One of the songs that I used to do is Doing the Do by Patten-Dunn.
Oh my god, I love that.
It's a very fast rap song. And it was one of those that I was like, to learn the words, I listened to it a billion times, obviously. But I also wrote them down as I heard them.
Yeah.
So it was like each lyric I'd be like, okay, pause, write down. But listening to them, writing them repeatedly helped me learn them.
Yeah.
So when I was learning, because I learned a couple new songs for this show, one of them was a Pink medley. And I said to Tiago, in this section of the song, the lyrics go by so fast. She says them so fast that I'm having trouble getting them. And he goes, you've done Boo for years. That's way faster.
Honestly.
And I was like, yes, but I learned it 100 years ago, so I can't forget it because it's like
when your brain was fresh. Yeah,
right. Now I'm old and learning new things is hard.
And my brain is Swiss cheese. Honestly,
it's hard.
I know,
but yeah, I had a really good time.
It was so much fun.
And so Thursday. So this was Sunday that we did my show. Thursday, my good friend Maria Peters Lake had asked me prior, but had asked me to do a show at this senior facility called Terwilliger Plaza. And Terwilliger Plaza is very lovely. It's a very nice establishment. And I have done many, many shows over the years at many places. Good, bad, and in between. I've never gone anywhere broad daylight into a straight establishment or a normal establishment.
Like a non-queer establishment.
In daylight drag, which is never good.
Right.
And had everyone be so kind and so welcoming and so just wonderful. Because we got there, the show was supposed to start at 2. We got there about 1:30. And, pack of drag queens in the middle of the day.
Right.
And everybody was like, oh my gosh, welcome, we're so glad you're here. And the residents, oh hi, thanks for coming. Everybody welcomed us. It was lovely. And then they got us up to where we were going, and every person we passed, oh, you're so beautiful. Can I get a picture? I can't wait to see this show.
Girl.
And I'm like, what is happening here?
I looked at all those pictures. It is precious to me. They're just like a pack of drag queens and some tiny old people.
I know, all these little itty-bitty old people.
Yeah.
One of the highlights for me, so the end of the show, so we each did 2 songs. and Maria talked because she was the hostess. And at the end, we did a little Q&A. And the people asked, I thought, really decent questions. Nobody asked anything stupid or offensive. Yeah. Which I was happy about because that happens too. But one of the men and there was men and women in the audience, little teeny old people. And one of them, when he introduced himself, he said who he was. And then he said that he was the former head of Ecumenical Ministries of Oregon, which founded the HIV Day Center.
Oh, wow.
And Hopewell House.
Yeah.
So Hopewell House is a, blank. It is a hospice. Yeah. For folks with AIDS and HIV. And I knew him when he founded the HIV Day Center because I volunteered there.
Oh, okay.
I did haircuts for folks who were using the services there because when you don't have enough money to eat, you certainly don't have enough money to go pay for a haircut. And so that was kind of my contribution, and I loved that. But it was so nice to see him, and to have, and for a straight religious man to have started these programs to help the queer community. I thought that was amazing.
It's a big deal.
So it was nice to see him there. But we had a wonderful time. Yeah. And made some good money. Yeah.
What's funny to me, though, because I didn't obviously go to that one, I just went to your show, but what was so funny to me was, like, people asked me, because, I'm there an hour early, so I was there for a total of almost 4 fucking hours, but everyone's like, how long do you think this is going to be? And I said, an hour, hour and a half maybe? And they're like, oh, probably not 90 minutes. And I said, oh, yeah, you're probably right, probably not. 2 hours fucking later, and the show is now over, and I said, girl, I gotta go home. I'm old, I'm
tired.
I'm turning into a pumpkin, I gotta go home now.
And if you and your little thin, gorgeous 34-year-old body felt that way...
I know.
My old fat 61-year-old body was like, I'm going to just go lay down on this stage.
I'm going to go die somewhere. Well, and that was the next day. I was like, girl, I'm dragging today, so I can only imagine how you fucking feel.
I could barely walk. Yeah. I was walking like I was 150 years old. Yep. Like going, where's my walker? Yep. I need a walker. Well, actually, could someone just like roll me around? That would be better.
I felt drunk. I felt like I was hungover. And I came and
I absolutely felt hungover.
Grandma sitting at the table looking like she's hungover. I'm like, what did we do? Like, was this the hangover? Like, what the fuck happened? But... Didn't they like kill a hooker or something?
I believe so. Who remembers?
I've never seen it, so I don't know. They're silly and stupid. Some things that were funny to me, though, because I got there as the doors were opening, but there was no line. Everyone was inside. And I'm with Gavin and Grandma, because we drove Grandma downstairs. Nope, downtown. No. And I walk in, and Kimberly is at the door. And Kimberly's known me my whole life. But I walk in, and I thought I had to scan tickets. No, they just had a list of people. And I said, Annika Diaz, 2 tickets. And she's like, I know who you are, Annika. And I said... Oh, you right.
You sure do.
Yeah. And then, Grandma and I chatted about this all night because from the moment Poison started talking, she stood in front of Grandma and talked about how, oh, here's Patio Dora's mother, how little she is, how tiny she is, and talked to Grandma for the whole time. Spotlight on Grandma, and Grandma's like, what? She has dementia, so she is kind of forget what's happening. But it was really cute. She felt like, they remembered me? They know who I am? I'm like, bitch, of course they fucking know who you are. Patio Dora has been around for 40 years, and you've been to a lot of gigs with her,
And besides, you're pretty easy to spot. You're 4'9".
So you're not super easy to spot. When they do spot you, though, they know who you are. But then
right, because you're sitting on a teacup.
Yeah, you're in a teacup sleeping. But then at the end, you did a number, and then Poison came and talked, and then you did your last number. But that last time Poison was talking, she mentioned how you had a podcast, and I said, oh, dear sweet Jesus, let's just leave it at that. Don't you dare mention me. And what did she do? She mentioned me, and she was like, I forget your name. And I was like, great, here we go. And then spotlight's on me, and I'm all, this is not about me. I don't want it on me. Please don't look at me. Don't quit perceiving me. I didn't ask for this. But yeah, it was...
Don't look at me, don't talk to me.
I know. So we got a little plug for our show.
We did.
It was very cute.
We may get, 1 or 2
more listeners.
Yeah. We love that.
Oh, and sidebar, though. Remember how Auntie Linda and Auntie Shauna went to Ireland?
Yes.
Well, Sunday, they gave me my dirt from Ireland. Because, being a witchy bitch that I am, I want dirt and things from around the world. So they brought me sand and dirt from the beach in Ireland.
Okay.
And then these little chippings of like rock or stone that were from a cemetery. And they're like, I didn't have anything to put it in, so I put it in a cough drop wrapper and then got home and put it in a plastic bag. And I said, cute, thank you so much. But they're like, we had to do it, we had to sneak it because they're, you know, they frown upon you stealing pieces of headstones.
That makes sense.
Oh, interesting.
So she's over there with her little pickaxe. Chiseling things off of
it.
No, she did not do that.
No.
Stuff that was already on the ground.
Yep.
She was not stealing.
No, but it was funny. It was good. It was such a good show. And it was electric. I love watching you perform. And I want you to know that I was, like, about to cry the whole time. And, like, not because I was sad, but it's just so good. And the energy is so good. And
it was so sad watching you.
I know. So I was like, she sucks. Boo. But yeah, it was...
But I'm going to jump back just a little bit. Remember how, when this all started, I was nervous that, you know, nobody would come.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, obviously it sold out in 3
Everyone
days.
told you it didn't happen.
But
yeah.
I was watching a documentary last night on Hulu about Janet Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
And when she did her first world tour, which was the Rhythm Nation tour, she said the night before her tour opened, she had a dream that she went out, did her first song, and when she finished, 3 people were in the audience clapping.
That's horrifying.
So she said, I was sure nobody would come.
Yeah.
So it's not just me.
No, it's every big star.
If Janet Jackson.
Jana.
Oh my God.
I know. Well, there was a snafu, though, at your show. And that bitch who did the sound. Honestly,
that was the most frustrating part because other than that, it went pretty smoothly.
Yeah,
it was good. It was fun, but the woman working the sound. Come on now. And what's funny is Kimberly has this theory of she said, you know how when you go to the circus and you're watching the trapeze artists and they fall like the first 3 times, so that when they stick it, you're just like cheering and screaming.
Yeah. Oh my God, they did it.
I was like, oh my God, they did their job that they're getting paid to do. And she's like, I get that with so many different people. They have to fuck up their job first so that when they do it right, you're like, oh, thank God.
Oh,
thank God.
yeah.
And it's like, my thought, and I know when we went to that horrible circus shit that we went to, you and I feel the same way. It's like, this is your job.
Yeah.
If you have signed on to be a juggler, an aerialist, whatever, those, whatever you're juggling should never hit the ground.
No.
Because this is your job.
Yep. And that juggler dropped every single time. And then when he finally got it right, everyone like lost their mind and I was like, what?
Yay, you
Boo!
did it right on the 5th
Boo!
time. I know.
It was me.
I know, because we're horrible.
I know, but I just have standards. When you made me buy ticket, not you, but when I bought tickets to go to this show and then it's amateur hour, no ma'am. I'm sorry. And so we left. So we said,
we did.
And walked out.
I'm glad no one booed and left at my show.
Oh, yeah.
I'm very happy about
I booed
that.
once. I booed a couple times, but I only booed when the sound cut out. And then I said, boo, you whore.
Nice.
Yeah. Well,
Atta girl.
Yeah.
I'm glad you had my back.
Of course, girl. Well, and she was frosty. When she was saying shit back to you, I was like, do you know who you're talking back to, bitch? Shut the fuck up. Do your job.
Well.
Mm-hmm. And you were snarky, and I loved it.
I find that shocking that I was
snarky.
That's so not like
you.
me.
You're so Christ-like.
I know. I am very Christ-like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just commented the other day that I did something very Christ-like. I don't remember what it was, but it was very Christ-like.
Because it didn't happen.
Because Jesus would have done it.
Oh.
You know.
Yeah. I bet.
Well, and on that note, we gotta go.
We made it. We made it all the way to the end, talking about
end.
you and your show.
Talking about me and my show and all the queer things going on in the world. And happy Pride Month still. We got a couple more minutes. Even though Pride for us will not be until July.
Yeah.
But whatever. Get your Pride on.
Whatever. Yeah.
Throw on your rainbows and...
You know what? And just because Pride Month ends at some point doesn't mean you have to stop being proud. So wear your rainbow. Be queer all the time. Yeah, just always be a queer lover. Do it, Do it. I know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And if you would like to send us any emails, do that at itwouldseemasthough@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
And we will read it on the air, unless you explicitly tell us not to.
Don't do it. But put that at the top of your email.
Start with that.
Please do not read this. Yeah.
Yeah. And if we have anybody here for the first time, drop into our email and let us know.
Yeah, I would love to.
That.
Love it.
We love it. Because, the other 3 listeners are probably getting...
real sick of us being like, write us some more.
Yeah, and on that note...
Bye.
It would seem as though...